this is such a big race for Damien Oliver. If he wins today, he will equal the Oaks record of Bobby Lewis, winning 7 Oaks in his career. Good luck to all connections for the 2021 Kennedy Oaks.
Set to run. Racing. Daisy slow. Biscayne Bay about 4th last out. Going to dance a lot, jumped well with Tis My Bay. Then Douceur and Morissette sitting closer today. Into the straight in the Oaks. Douceur's the first to strike. Led Morissette. Willowy presents. Douceur still kicks at the 250. Willowy grinding her down. Douceur about a length in front of Willowy. Then came a wall of them, but Douceur 100 to go. Willowy's 3/4. Douceur a half. Willowy's going to have a go. Douceur. Willowy dives. He's done it, Ollie. He's 7th Oaks. Willowy wins from Douceur second in a thriller.
The greatest of all time, Damien Oliver has lifted Willowy over the line to win his 7th Kennedy Oaks.
Great stuff, D. Oliver, with his 7th Kennedy Oaks over the journey, the first for James Cummings. And, well, we're going to have a good look here, Francesca and Bossy, at the Wakeful. Now, there's been 38 horses since 1932 to get the double. 8 of 21 this century, and the last 3 in a row, including Willowy.
Yep.
So it's a good form, isn't it?
Well, it just shows they're flying. You know, if they go through the Wakeful, they're just on an upward trajectory, and generally they're lightly raced at this point. So there's room for improvement.
It's a hell of a stat, that 38 to do the double,
Yeah.
especially when you consider that the race is only on Saturday.
Yeah.
And these are young 3-year-old fillies. We're asking them to stretch out to 2,500 metres.
So let's
today.
have a look at this year's Wakeful, which Zenzella
Yep.
for James McDonald and Ma Eustace combination.
Yep.
Very strong.
Just travelled so beautifully throughout the race, and just give a really good kick here. All indications she's done very well in the stable, in the barn, so she's going to turn up here in same sort of fashion.
Yeah, interesting by Snitzel, her stallion. 0 Oaks or Derby winners. He's more known for his speed influence, although there is a bit of stamina on the dam side, is by Zeno Rob Roy. Good run there also from Pavitra on the inside. Queen Air flashing
Queen
home.
Air.
Let's Be Frank Baby also in the run there. So a bit of a question mark over her staying the trip.
Absolutely, she travelled so strongly throughout that race. I'm with you. Queen Air was the run of that race going forward. She looks like a real staying type, covers the ground a lot. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be so interesting. Then you've got the obviously the top weight.
Who I think you like, right?
The other stories in the race, of course, we mentioned Jamie Carr. There hasn't been a woman in 163 years to ride the winner of Ladies' Day, the Oaks. So a big go there, Pavitra. That wasn't a bad race.
No, she was second in a really good trial, and not
Very
much between
close.
the two of them. I know Jamie Carr is very keen on the chances of Pavitra.
She says a massive action, still shying at times, still a spooky horse. Lots of improvement to Jamie Carr.
One to
Well,
keep
they're
an eye on.
represented today. Jamie Carr, Rachel King and Alana Kelly down the bottom.
Yeah.
So the girls are well represented this year.
Yeah, I fancy Renaissance Woman, who Rachel King's riding, although I don't like the fact that she's drifted in the betting. She also came through the same form race as the favourite, She's Extreme, which is the Spring Champion Stakes, which is the race that provided the Derby winner.
Yes.
Not the Derby winner a lot of people thought was going to be, but Manzois finished, 6th or 7th. He's in the light blue colours at the back. She's Extreme in the red and white. Reckless Renaissance Woman in the green on the outside.
Well, we had the Derby winner and Sharp and Smart, the Derby second place going out of this race. So this has to be the form. She's a Group 1 winner herself. She's Extreme, so just the facts and figures say she should be winning this race, but the breeding suggests maybe not. But she's drawn barrier 1. Tommy's going to get... All she has to do is relax really well in the run, and if he can just light her up, light the wick up at the right time, she's going to be too quick for
The
him.
Victorian Racing Handicappers have rated her 20 points higher than any other horse in the race, which was 20 points higher than Zenzella, that won the Wakeful Stakes that we just saw a moment ago there. So it's interesting. Let's Be Frank Baby for the international viewers, of course. Big South African breeding here.
Very much so. So they're a big operation based in South Africa. Drakenstein Stud is their place in just outside Cape Town. It's the most beautiful place I have ever been to.
Really?
I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's amazing. But they're having more and more runners in Europe, and then also now here in Australia. And this one by Frankel out of an Invincible Spirit mare. It's bred to win the Oaks at Epsom, let alone the Oaks here in Victoria. She's beautifully bred.
Let's go now to Katie Price is with Brendan Griffith, who is the travelling foreman of Pavitra.
Well, you won't miss Pavitra in the Oaks. She has one of the biggest strides you'll see. Brandon has been looking after her since she's been in Melbourne. How is she, Brandon?
Yeah, she's really, really well. She's ready to go.
She doesn't mind the microphone either. Tell us a bit about what she's like to work at home.
Yeah, she's a real sweetheart. She's been an absolute gem since we arrived here from Sydney down in Melbourne with Charlotte Littlefield. And we're very lucky with the facilities we've got, and she just relaxed so well as soon as she stepped in their barn, and that's made the travel for her really nice.
And she powered through the line her last couple of starts as well. How do you think she's going to go today?
Yeah, she was a little bit unlucky last start. She just kind of got blocked for a run at the top of the straight, and she had to switch back to the inside. Today, barrier 10, Jamie Carr. Hopefully she gets some nice clear air, and hopefully it's all smooth sailing.
Well, it's a day for the girls. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I don't have any carrots for you, but good luck, hey? Hello.
Pavitra there. Now, it's a family affair. We spoke earlier about Anthony Cummings with She's Extreme to become a fourth generation. So grandfather, father and son have won it. He gets his chance today at 65 years of age. Pavitra, of course, is also trained by Richard and Will Friedman. And then the other Friedman brothers, Anthony and Sam Friedman, father, son, are there. Back when they were the FBI, the Friedman Brothers Incorporated, they won 4 between 1994 and 2005 with Lee as the boss. So there's stories everywhere in this race. I'm really looking forward to it.
And yet the only trainer to have won the race before is Kieran Maher. Well, before he was joined up with David Eustace. 2 runners, 2 winners.
Yep.
They've got Zanzella.
Jared, you've got the updates, mate, from the TAB.
For much of the day, Zanzella is best back to beat it. $5.50 was $4 though this morning. Queen Air's the horse that's firmed in since midday today. $9.50 into $8.50. Foxy Cleopatra's just gone in 50 cents from $9.50 to $9. Now down the bottom there, Albanian Icon. If that won, it'd be a big losing result for the tab. A lot of people willing to back the roughie. Could it do a Lesquetti Spirit from 6 years ago?
What a win it was for Dean Yandel, the pump of the fist. He is back after having such a terrible neck injury, and he was sidelined for so long. Back in Cup Week, winning the $500,000 country final with Torregine. Favourite punters happy. It gets home pace 5.10, 2.30. Bookman, a great run again for Colin Little, former trainer, $3.30. And Corona Lad, just so consistent, third, $2.40. It's that winning feeling here at Flemington over Cup Week. There'll be plenty jumping for joy if they can take out the feature, the $1 million Group 1 Kennedy Oaks, and that is where we are up to today. It is some of the best 3-year-old fillies in the land who are here trying to win the big race today, including Extreme. She's Extreme, who has been the best back runner, and no surprise because she's got the form on the board. Anthony Cummings, we've heard the storyline, trying to continue the amazing run of the Cummings family in this Oaks, and Tommy Berry looking for just his second Melbourne Group 1 victory. Zanzella, who won the Wakefields, $5.50, $9 Foxy Cleopatra. Queen Air, who is still a maiden, $8.50. It's not a big field this year, but there is plenty of quality in it and plenty of storylines as well. But the headline act is number 1, She's Extreme. And Gator, as we go into the mounting yard and have a look at the runners for this year's Oaks, it is all about the favourite. There was some news that she's had synthetic hoof filler, which can put some punters off, but Anthony Cummings, I should say, has no concerns. She's got the class. If she races up to what we've seen, Cheska, she is the one to beat. How does she look to you?
Yeah, it's funny you noted that about the synthetic hoof filler, because I saw that also in the gear change. You could just see it there on the inside of the far front foot, that little bit of white patching. That often happens if they've had to reshoe the horse and they haven't got enough wall of the foot to put the nails into. So they just have to pad it out a bit and put the nails in there. Look, it happens quite a lot, so I don't think it's a big issue, and obviously she'll be trotted up and everything's fine. Physically, she looks in great condition. She's got a lovely coat on her. She walks out really nicely. And I remember Extreme Choice, the stallion, being quite small and not particularly impressive looking, but she's got a really nice physique about her. And she looks just right, fitness-wise. She doesn't look light. She doesn't look heavy, so can't knock her in the mounting yard.
Well, she's the class. I mean, her rating tells you that. And her last start was terrific against the boys, wasn't it? She easily beat Renaissance Woman, who had beaten a lot of these prior to that.
So much has been said about Extreme Choice being her stallion, but on the mare's side, She's out of a mare who won a placed in a WA Oaks, placed in a WA Derby behind the Great Delicacy, so staying blood there.
Number 2 is Zen Zeller. Kirama, Dave Eustace, James McDonald, who we can tell you in some breaking news too, has been given an 8-meeting suspension from a ride earlier today, which will be taken after the Melbourne Cup Carnival. But he, of course, will be looking to win another Group 1. He's had a record-breaking spring so far, and Zen Zeller could become the 39th horse to win the Wakeful Oaks double, Michelle.
Yes, and she's trained on really well from the run on Saturday. She's up on her toes, feeling well. She's really up and about and fresh, so she hasn't lightened off, hasn't lost any condition from the win on Saturday, and she's presented here in great order.
Well, she sat up on a really hot speed in the Wakeful, and what do you mean by hot? Well, tried 12 lengths above Group 2 average, and she still absorbed that, travelled well, kicked and beat them all. So given her upside in the traditional lead-up history of that race into this, she must be the danger.
Snitzel's never sired an Oaks or Derby winner, but she is out of a mare who won Group 3s at 2400 and finished second in a New Zealand Oaks.
Number 3 is Renaissance Woman. Rachel King looking to become the first woman to win an Oaks today. Cheska, she's had a busy campaign coming back down from Sydney. Is she looking good to you?
I think she looks really well, Michael, and I'm really surprised by her odds here because she's already beaten Foxy Cleopatra when winning the Ethereal. Then in the Spring Champion, she was 6th, so not as good as the fancied horse here, She's Extreme. But don't forget, she had the Derby winner, Manzois, in behind her that day, and she made quite an early move in the race, so used up a lot of petrol and didn't quite have the finish of the favourite, She's Extreme. But I think she's a massive chance at the price. I don't like the fact that she's drifted in the market, but she looks great here.
Well, she was alongside She's Extreme, wasn't she, at about the 500? Got left behind, but still, she stuck on well, and she looks like she'll stay.
By a reliable man, he's had 2 Oaks winners.
Number 4 is for Vitra. Jamie Carr rides for the father-son team of Richard and Will Friedman. Michelle?
I also saw this horse on Saturday, and she's trained on really, really well. I love the look of her here in the yard. Really shiny in her coat, absolutely thriving, and she just looks superb. I think she's going to be on a very good race.
Well, she set a really strong speed in the Ethereal herself and held on to beat all bar 2 Swoopers. Of course, they're both here, and then beat all bar Zen Zeller in a fast-run Wakeful, so she's certainly in the game.
In the modern world of sports science, the Friedmans have said she's got the strongest stride length, the longest stride length they've seen on the E-Tracker.
Number 5 is Foxy Cleopatra. Trent Bussett and Natalie Young, Blake Shin in the saddle.
Oh, she was every bit as good as Renaissance Woman in the Ethereal. She copped a bump on the turn. She can posse up closer this time and probably has more upside. That was only her 3rd start.
By American Ferry, Triple Crown winner, of course. He won at 2,400 metres, but out of an unraced mare who's a full sister to the stallion Foxwedge, who we know is a sprinter.
Number 6 is Let's Be Frankie. Robbie Griffiths, Matty DeCock and Lachlan King, who a couple of years ago created history when he won his first Group 1 on Johnny Get Angry in the Derby. Cheska?
Yeah, so this filly, she's only had the 1 win from 5 starts. That was only in a maiden. So on paper, she needs to improve here. She's been running in a lot of the obvious lead-up races, including the 5th and the Wakeful last time out, where she finished, she was closing towards the end of it. So we might see an improvement from her over the extra distance. She's well put together. She's not particularly big, and she's the daughter of Frankel.
Sound finale in the Ethereal, good finale in the Wakeful. It's by Frankel. They keep improving.
And a pedigree page full of good stayers.
Number 7 is As Time Goes By. The last 5 runners, they're all maidens looking to win their first race in the Oaks. This one from the Anthony and Sam Friedman stable. Michelle?
She's probably the first of them I've seen that's just looks like she's lightened off, and maybe, the Oaks campaign is getting to her. She looks like she's done plenty of work, but there's just absolutely nothing of her.
Had her chance in the Wakeful, but she was rock solid. If it's the right form, she must have a case.
Wonderful Oaks pedigree.
Number 8 is Queen Air. This would be some training performance from Lindsay Smith, Michelle, because she only had her first race start on the 29th of September, and she backs up from the Wakeful.
She does, and she's gone out early, as you see. She's just a bit excited. She's got the red earmuffs on, and the occasion has got her up and about, but she might be that type of filly anyway. She looks really well in her coat and really strong. I couldn't knock her in the yard. She looks fantastic.
Well, she was the only filly to break 13 seconds home at the end of that Wakeful. Absolutely zooming late. Whether or not it's come up too soon remains to be seen, but she's in the game.
And interestingly, she was just like this behind the gates for that Wakeful as well, where she was getting that bit stirred up.
Number 9 is Serious Princess, one of the outsiders, but a big moment for trainer Trevor Andrews to have a runner in the Oaks.
Well, she was second up, had a gap between runs into the Geelong Classic against the males, and actually ran pretty well given that, so not a million to one.
Number 10 is Macarena. Mark and Levi Kavanagh are the trainers, and she's been racing in the form races that lead into the Oaks, Gator.
Yeah, she covered a lot of ground in the ethereal. I thought battled really well, and her wakeful run was sound. Others were better, but it was okay.
And number 11 is the outsider, Albanian Icon. Big moment for Paul Kumis and for apprentice Alana Kelly having her first Group 1 ride.
Yeah, good luck to Alana. I think she's a star on the rise. But this girl's second career start says she can win a maiden soon.
They've been backing a few in the Oaks, Jared. Who has been the best backed in the last few moments?
She's extreme. This market's been reasonably stable, Michael, but $2.30. She just held that quote. She is the best backed, and Zenzella's also been solid there at the $5.50 throughout the day. Queen Air just $8.50 back to 9. Now the two fillies that ran 1-2 in the ethereal at Caulfield after drifting have just firmed again. Foxy Cleopatra 10 into $9.50, and Renaissance Woman 12 into 11. Let's Be Frank Baby is a loser in the book at Tab at 25 to 1, and Albanian Icon, well, that's a red result as well at 100 to 1.
Cheska and Michelle for these fillies, 2,500 metres for the first time. Who looked the most relaxed and best in the yard?
To be fair, as a group, they looked pretty relaxed, I thought. But there were some that looked that bit better than others. Funny enough, on paper, I like Renaissance Woman, but I had to give the pick of the yard physically to Pavitra, but you've gone the other way around.
Yeah, I like Pavitra, and I've gone with Renaissance. So I think that either one of those you could go with, and it's interesting that we've both gone with the female jockey, so we'll be cheering them home hard.
We sure will.
Okay, Kieran Mara's with me here. Kieran, you've had 2 runners in the Oaks before and you've had 2 wins, right? So good luck today.
No, thanks very much. Obviously, she was very good on Saturday, and it's only a short turnaround, but she's done really well. She hasn't missed a note.
Last 3 winners of this race have come through the Wakeful. Zenzella, as you said, ran beautifully on the weekend.
Yeah, I haven't used this race before, but it just mapped well for this horse's program. So she's, as I said, she's come through very well. And got the right man on top.
Been a big campaign for you too, mate. You had a couple of champagnes after the first. Hopefully a few more tonight.
Hopefully. Cheers.
Good on you, mate. Danny O'Brien did it in 2019, the winner of the Melbourne Cup and also the Oaks. Kieran Maher and David Eustace hoping to do it today. There's a little bit of rain starting to fall. We're ready to go. This is Kennedy Oaks Day. It's coming up next on Network 10.
Away from the running of the Kennedy Oaks. The previous race was a wonderful moment for Dean Yendall, who's had terrible injuries, and he was back on top, winning the Melbourne Cup Carnival Country Final. A $500,000 race for country-trained horses, and it was Matty Williams from Warrnambool who was successful today with his very lightly raced and promising mare, Torregine, making it 4 wins from 5 starts. The OTI connections. Super pumped, as you would be. A $500,000 race on Kennedy Oaks Day. Great to see. We are not far away from the Oaks. Let's find out who the hot horse is, Jared.
Michael, Queen Air's been 9 into $7.50, but $2.30 with S-Tab. Rock solid $2.30. Tab fixed odds. She's extreme.
She looks nice and relaxed, Cheska, because the question mark for her really is, most people think if she runs a strong 2,500, she's got the class and will be too good. Yeah,
that's the thing, isn't it? With all of the runners here, they've just got to jump out, drop their heads, bowl along nicely and conserve the energy, just like it was with the Derby runners. The breeding does slightly go against her, although there is a bit of stamina on the dam side. But what's the best way of approaching riding in the race, Michelle?
You've got to be really on the ball. It's obviously not a very long run into the first corner, and if you don't get your spot early, it's very tricky to get in and to get your horse to relax. So basically you want to get your horse away as quickly as you can without getting them too fired up, because you want them to get into a rhythm. So it's that fine line that you really have to use all your horsemanship to get them into the right position and then the right frame of mind.
And for Tommy Berry, who's riding She's Extreme, he's only had 1 Group 1 winner in Victoria, despite all of his successes elsewhere, and he was suspended when She's Extreme came 3rd in the Spring Champion. So there's a lot riding on it here.
Yeah, exactly. But he's a true professional, and I'm sure that he's really ready for this race and excited to get out there and he might be taking home the Oaks.
Well, we're not far away now. Quickly, Gator, you're pretty confident the favourite will win.
Well, I think she's the class, and, and her rating tells you that. Britt?
I've been with Pavitra, but I've just noticed Queen Air, I think, was a lot better behind the gates than she was in the Wakefield. We know how well she ran there.
Renaissance Woman for me on form.
Renaissance Woman for me also.
All right, I think Queen Air, if there's going to be an upset, the way she finished the Wakefield, but the favourite is the one they all need to beat. Let's take it to Matt Hill for his call of the Group 1 feature, the Kennedy Oaks.
The Kennedy Oaks set to run. As time goes by, a bit fractious, away they go. And she's extreme, the inside jumped well with Let's Be Frank Baby, Zenzella and Pavitra. Almost a line of 4, and Queen Air's nice and close today at the post as well, and is going to drive up in between Zenzella and on the outside Pavitra to keep the ladder wider. She's extreme, looks for the sit, then Let's Be Frank Baby. Albanian Icon, the bolter on the paint. 2 lengths Mac Rana as time goes by, and then came Renaissance Woman, who sits on the outside of Serious Princess, and Foxy Cleopatra is 3 wide around those fillies. 1900 to go, and Pavitra took it up now, led by a length and a half Zenzella, and She's Extreme is 3rd, box seating the favourite. Then came Queen Air, who is 4th, one off the fence outside of Albanian Icon. A length away Let's Be Frank Baby, Mac Rana, Foxy Cleopatra 3 deep. Then as time goes by, Serious Princess is 2nd last on the inner, and at the back is Renaissance Woman. So no speed, Pavitra's just getting a little bit fired up in the lead and extended that margin to 2.5 lengths Zenzella and She's Extreme. Then came Queen Air, a length and a half Albanian Icon. Then came Let's Be Frank Baby. Next is Mac Rana, Foxy Cleopatra over 2 lengths as time goes by. Then Serious Princess, and last is Renaissance Woman. At Chiquita Lodge, 1,200 metres to run, and the leader is Pavitra at a sedate tempo in the Oaks by a length and a half. Zenzella 2nd, 3rd is She's Extreme, a length Queen Air. There's been no change in the play. Over a length Albanian Icon, followed by Let's Be Frank Baby, then Mac Rana and Foxy Cleopatra. 2.5 lengths Serious Princess as time goes by, and Renaissance Woman. So Pavitra is really dictating terms here for Jamie Carr, and led by a length to Zenzella. Then She's Extreme and Queen Air. It's going to be a race for the final 650 metres as Queen Air hooked out 3 wide. Let's Be Frank Baby got onto her back. Then Albanian Icon, Mac Rana, Foxy Cleopatra joining that wide train. Then as time goes by, as the field huddle up around the turn, 500 to go, it's Pavitra from Zenzella yet to show her hand. She's Extreme behind them. Then Queen Air, who's stoked up wider. They sprint up at the 350. Pavitra led by a length. She's Extreme, Zenzella, Queen Air, and then Foxy Cleopatra. It's Pavitra, 200 metres to go. Carr draws the whip. She's Extreme on the inside coming at her. She's Extreme, grab Pavitra, Queen Air. She's Extreme coming clear. 3/4 a length Pavitra, and She's Extreme for Anthony Cummings. The Cummings name lives on in the Oaks. She's Extreme by a length Pavitra, Queen Air, Zenzella. Then as time goes by, Let's Be Frank Baby, Serious Princess, Foxy Cleopatra, Albanian Icon, Renaissance Woman, and Mac Rana at the tail of the field.
She's Extreme, the favourite, was too classy in the end, and Anthony Cummings completes the Cummings dynasty. His grandfather won this great race. His father Bart won it 9 times. His son James won it last year, and now Anthony Cummings has his name etched on the Kennedy Oaks Trophy. And for Tommy Berry, finally he gets another Group 1 victory in Melbourne, and how sweet it was as he crossed the line. Jamie Carr did all she could on the runner-up Pavitra. She rated it beautifully, and Queen Air, in her first campaign, has run 3rd in the Oaks. It was a brilliant contest, but in the end, Michelle, class prevailed.
It did, and also this horse had a beautiful run, box seated, just travelled in behind the speed, and you see Jamie Carr probably drifted off the fence looking for a little bit better ground, but this horse was just there to take that run, and so strong through the line for what was a bit of a question mark on her staying ability.
You can see here, Cheska, what a lovely ride getting up on the inside by Tommy Berry.
I thought she was a touch keen in the early stages, but eventually she was able just to settle in behind the leaders and get a nice smother throughout the majority of the run, and And then here, just sneaking up the inside of Pavitra, who's run a huge race, leading all the way. Not much got into it from behind. There was a question mark over her at the test of stamina being by Extreme Choice, but she's put that to bed. And for Tommy Berry, this is a big result. His second Group 1 winner in Victoria. He wasn't able to ride her last time, and he has just taken out the Oaks.
Gator was keen, the punters were keen. Robert Crabtree, who bred her, is very happy there, as would Tommy Berry be, another Group 1 major in Melbourne.
Thank you, Michael. With Tommy Berry, mate. Well, look, we obviously had the right barrier, but she executed perfectly for you, mate.
Yeah, she did, mate. We had the right barrier to just to put her to sleep, and that's what I had to do today. And just even going into the Spring Champion, it's like Anthony flicked a switch with her, you know, because she's always been a strong worker, always been a strong traveller in her races, but leading into the Spring Champion, she started working like a stayer. And I worked here on Tuesday morning, and I wasn't worried about the 2500. Like, you just see how clean-winded she is and how relaxed she's become. She's a different horse now.
You just touched on a win there, like, it's absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? Like, she's just let herself cool down, got the oxygen back in the lungs, and she's just walking around here like she could go again.
Yeah, no, I'm blowing more than her, Winksy, but full credit to Anthony Cummings and his team, Jono, the staff, Corey at home. They've done an amazing job with her. And to my manager, Paul Joyce, thanks, mate. You've given me a great week down here with some good rides. My sponsors, Lexus Parramatta. You know, I've been with them for a very long time, and Meon and his team, they've been unbelievable. But more important, my beautiful family. I got my wife here who were out on Saturday night and Tuesday night, and all my family back home, mum, dad, Belinda, my sister, and my kids. But that one's for you, Dad. I love you, mate.
Beautifully said, mate. Everyone was saying one Group 1 in Melbourne, now you've got two, buddy.
Yeah, it's nice, mate. I appreciate it.
Well, enjoy it. Well done.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Winksy.
Go on, you, Winksy. I'm with Anthony Cummings. Anthony, congratulations. The place went nuts when you got up there. It's an amazing ride. Congratulations. Just tell me what it feels now to have the complete set with your grandfather, your father and your son.
Well, it's very good. I mean, big thing is to keep up with the kids. They're setting a furious pace, and for an old guy, it's not always simple. But anyway, I'm really pleased. Got a really nice filly. Got a good mob of owners who've done. Have sort of been understanding all the way through and copped it. And not that it's hard. I mean, she's won over $1.5 million something now, so it hasn't been all pain. But just pleased to have a filly like that get the recognition, get the Group 1 here, certainly at Flemington. And it's, keep the pressure on the two boys to keep performing.
Good stuff. Well, James was straight over to give you a big hug. Your wonderful wife, Bernadette, as I said to you earlier today, you've been wonderful. Your boys have been just do so much for racing. Yeah. But you and your family have done things. But today's your day. You always talk about the boys and everybody else. This is your day. You've won a Derby, you've won an Oaks, you're a genuine superstar trainer in your own right. This is a magic moment for you at 65 years of age.
Yeah. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
It is.
Am I pretty happy? No, very happy. It's really nice to get a nice horse. It's really nice to be able to develop them to the point where they can show off the way they can. Very satisfying there. Good ride from Tommy. And I think she's the right horse to win this race and give her the credit that the race deserves.
Anthony, it's quite incredible when you think about it. 1928, your grandfather wins the race for the first time for the Cummings household. 9 times your father. Last year, your boy wins it, and now you're in as well. It's extraordinary.
Well, there's a lot to be said for dinner time discussions. I mean, I learned more at the dinner table, breakfast table at home when I was a kid, from when Mum used to feed for the stable. The discussions you have about horses, about problems, about solutions, and all those things all on the way. I mean, I'm really lucky in that my kids are bright kids. They have a passion for this the same as I do. I'd rather talk about the horse, I think. It's easier.
But it's good. I think it's just wonderful, though, because, for a long time, any son of a famous father has to be your Bart son all the way through. As I said, you won a Derby, you've been an amazing record in your own right, and then your sons come through, but you've always just given and given, and today with the tear in your eye, mate, you've won the Oaks and now have got grandfather, father, son, and you yourself.
Yeah, no, very happy. I suppose the issue with racing is there's a lot more races on that list. And so there's a few more boxes to tick. So there's a bit of life in the old bloke yet, and I'll get to it.
Mate, you have got a bit of life. You've cast a shoot today. You're on the crutches. How are you feeling?
There's no pain.
No pain whatsoever. Good on you, Anthony. Down you go, and enjoy the accolades of everybody here at Flemington. Anthony Cummings, I tell you what, that is one of the great stories in the history of racing. 1928, Jim Cummings, 9 for Bart, 1 for his son James last year, and now at 65 years of age, Anthony Cummings salutes in the Kennedy VRC Oaks. Michael Felgate, this sport just keeps rewriting the script with another beauty every time, doesn't it?
That's what Melbourne Cup Week is all about, Eddie. The stories that evolve. Last year, it was Damien Oliver. This year, it is about the Cummings family. And also, Tommy Berry. He's been a great jockey for a long time. He hasn't had the success that he's had in Sydney, here in Melbourne. And this will be a sweet victory for Tommy, who works so hard. And he loves this filly. She's extreme. Tommy, great to see you, mate. Well done. Well done. I bet that was a sweet victory. She's been your girlfriend for a long time. And for her to do what she's done as a 2-year-old and now 3-year-old, she's one of the best we've seen.
Yeah, no, she's it's incredible that she's running a slipper and now won an Oaks, and we might have been, taking that staying ability away from her earlier, but full credit to Anthony. He's just trained her to perfection, and there was a few times that I've worked and I was like, geez, you're working over a bit far, but that's why you got to stop being a trainer and keep being the jockey. And it's just amazing. I've got my wife here. She's come away for the first time without the kids, so it's unbelievable, and they've been looked after at home, and can't wait to get home and give him a big kiss tonight.
Oh, I bet they'll be very, very happy to see you too. What about this filly? To run in a golden slipper at 2, to win a Group 1 at 2, and then to come back here in an Oaks, 2,500 metres, she's just extraordinarily versatile.
No, she is, and when I pulled up beside Winksy, even Winksy made comment like she'd recovered a lot quicker than me, dead set 100 metres after walking back in, so she's got a massive set of lungs on her, and she's just been trained to perfection, and leading into the Spring Champion is when she turned. She just started relaxing and working like a stayer. So, yeah, it's been a long preparation, but a good one.
Take the punters through the run, Tommy, because you're on the fence behind the leader here. You had a little look off the leader to the outside, didn't you? And that gap closed. You cut back to the inside. It was narrow for a few strides.
Yeah, it was. And I know the leader. I've seen him race in Sydney and here in Melbourne. He gawks and he runs around a little bit. So I knew Jamie would try and keep him on the fence with the fence to follow, so that's why I went for the outside option first, but he gawked and sort of ran away a little bit, and she's no stranger to taking tight runs, so she was good enough to go through and take it.
You mentioned you've got a week off from the kids, so they'll be watching. Have you got a message for the kids back home, because you've been able to enjoy your time down in Melbourne with your wife, Shani?
Yeah, no, it gets emotional talking about them. It's just, I love yous all. Can't wait to get home and see yous tonight. My mum, my dad, my sister at home. I love yous. That one was for you, Dad. Can't wait to sit down and have a drink with you later in the week. But my manager, Paul Joyce, I've only had him 12 months. Jeff Bryan, my old manager, retired. So thank you both for what yous have done for me. And Lexus Parramatta, they're the best cars in town. Go buy one.
Good on you, Tommy. Well done, mate.
Appreciate it.
Group 1 winning jockey of the Oaks, Tommy Berry. She's extreme. Class coming to the fore. The Cummings family, and the Berry family celebrate, as do the punters around Australia. She's extreme, the winner of the 2022 Kennedy Oaks.
Hello, in Melbourne's 10 News First. And the bold and the beautiful turn out in their fashionable best at Flemington. Join us for a special bulletin of 10 News First after the Oaks.
#162nd edition. The Oaks is certainly one to remember. History made once again here at fabulous Flemington, with Anthony Cummings putting his name on the honour roll alongside his grandfather, his father Bart, and his son James. And for Tommy Berry, an emotional win. Finally, another Group 1 victory in Melbourne. She was the class filly of the race. He rode her beautifully and she saluted, defeating a very gallant Pavitra, and Queen Air in third was also a great run. $2.40 the favourite has played. Pavitra has paid $2.60, $2.40 for Queen Air. The first four, with Zenzella, the other favoured runner, finishing fourth, has paid $435. Francesca Kamani and Glenn Boss with me to look back on what was a fabulous Oaks. And Bossy, 10 out of 10 for Tommy Berry, but also I think Jamie Carr on the runner-up. They couldn't have given their horses any better chance.
The first three place getters, to be honest, absolutely give their mounts every possible chance. But the class did come through. She's extreme. Like she had, it was pretty obvious her form was so strong to everything superior. All she had to do was stay. She was given a beautiful ride, and that's what she did.
It looked a bit dodgy here for a second, didn't it, Francesca? He had a look to come out, and then thankfully the leader just rolled off the fence, that horse.
Yeah, well, you said Jamie Carr did a great job in front and Pavitra, which she did, because she was able to slow it up a bit in the back straight and get some easier sectionals and a bit of a breather. I wonder if she'd be kicking herself for rolling off the fence here and letting Stream out.
I think Zenzita, well, we spoke about her probably not getting the trip, and Zenzita did drop off. That would have give him the run anyway. But you know what? You just got to take those runs when they do come. Yeah, Jamie might be, a little bit cross to herself, drifting off the fence and letting that horse come up on the inside, because it could have been the difference between winning and losing.
Yeah, I always marvel at these fillies, how versatile they are. She was a Group 1 winner at 2 over the mile. Then she started off her prep at 1,200 metres. Then she stepped up, really good in the Spring Champion, and then here 2,500 metres. What, on her 5th start this prep? It's amazing.
We do find in the history books, Bossy, of this race, though, that you don't necessarily need to be a genuine out-and-out stayer when you're the best 3-year-old filly to win the Oaks. We've seen Samantha Miss do it in the past. We've seen other good horses do it as well. And I think you'll find moving forward that her best distance may well be still around about a mile to a 2,000 metre mark.
I totally agree with you there, Michael. Yes, it's quite obvious that will be her best trip. But the one thing they do, the work that she was stepped into, she coped with the work. Anthony alluded to that earlier. He said, more work you give her, the better she started to thrive. So all she had to do was just have a little bit of stamina, and she got the barrier, she got the right ride, and she got the right result.
Great moment for Extreme Choice, the stallion as well, who's winning, Blue Diamonds and Coolmores, and now has a classic winner as well.
I remember him winning here, and I think probably looking at him in the mountain yard and going, my goodness, he's a pony, and thinking, what kind of stud career is he going to have? I think before today he hadn't had a winner beyond 2,000 metre as a stallion, and here he is, Siren Oaks winner.
Well, the owners, including Robert Crabtree, will be very happy indeed. Let's head out to the presentation of the Kennedy Oaks with Eddie Maguire.
The Victoria Racing Club would like to welcome Network 10 Melbourne Cup Carnival host Eddie Maguire to the mounting yard for the official handover of the 2022 Kennedy Oaks Trophy.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Flemington for the presentation after the 163rd running of the Kennedy VRC Oaks. A big round of applause for everybody involved. What a sensational race it's been. My name is Eddie Maguire. It's an honour to be here today for the official handover of the 2022 Kennedy Oaks Trophy for the winning connections of She's Extreme. Before we do that, please let me welcome to the stage a sensational job in the last 3 days, and of course we can't wait for the final day of the carnival. Mr. Neil Wilson, Chairman of the Victoria Racing Club. Good on you, Neil. You've done a powerful job, mate. Mr. James Kennedy and his wife Jamie Kennedy, the Kennedy Oaks and everything that Kennedy does for racing and sport right around the country, but particularly this day. James and Jamie, to you, thank you so much for your wonderful support of racing and everything that you do. Please give our sponsors a major big round of applause right now to James and Jamie, who'll be making the presentations in a moment. The Winning Connections, represented, a few of them up here too, by the way, but the Winning Connections represented by Robert Crabtree. Robert, come over here, mate. Congratulations. That was fantastic, buddy.
You wouldn't believe how fantastic it was, Eddie. It was nearly as good as a Collingwood premiership.
Oh, there you go, Robert, I tell you what. Neil, you better go for a group hug as well. Fantastic team effort though, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I'm thrilled for Anthony Cummings. And I'm absolutely delighted for the filly. She's so courageous. She's a people's sort of horse, isn't she?
She is indeed.
Yeah.
Step back, buddy. We'll
Thank
get you in a few moments' time. The trainer, Tommy Berry, has his first Group 1 win here at Flemington after an amazing career. Congratulations to Tommy. And ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Anthony Cummings. Since 1928, the Cummings name has dominated the Oaks, and for the 12th time, a Cummings accepts this trophy today. Anthony, absolutely sensational. Step forward for a moment, mate. On the crutches, Anthony, this is a moment in time for not only you, but your family, and also for the history of racing. Congratulations.
Thank you. Just really proud to sort of turn up here and win a race such as this with the history that's behind it. Certainly from the club's perspective, but also too from a family perspective. I suppose for me, I've got to thank the old man for putting a fire in my belly to sort of go through the ups and downs of racing and be able to find a horse good enough to be here. Certainly that's gone through to the next generation with James and Edward. James has done it last year, that's fine. Edward, get on your bike, mate. There's something to do. You know, as a family, we're here for a long time.
Congratulations, mate, and to Bernadette. As we've said before, your boys have been magnificent, but there's been nobody who's put as much into racing as this man, as well as his father and his grandfather. Anthony, congratulations today. Stand back, mate, and enjoy, because we're going to present you with a beautiful cup in a few moments' time. The Group 1 $1 million Kennedy Oaks crowned the nation's top 3-year-old filly, and today, as I said, that is She's Extreme. A magnificent effort and a beautiful horse, and what a run it was. I'd now like to invite James Kennedy, Executive Chairman of Kennedy, forward. James, before you make the presentation, again, congratulations to you and your organisation, synonymous now with top class, but also a magnificent race today.
Thanks, Eddie. Yeah, look, another great day. Wrapped that the weather turned out as well as it did. It's been a rough couple of days, but really great day for the owners, trainers, connections, and jockey, and look, just another fantastic result.
Good on you, mate. Now, your job now is to make the presentation to Robert Crabtree. This is the Kennedy VRC Oaks.
Thank you, my friend.
There it is. James, I'd now like you to make the presentation to Anthony Cummings. As I said, a family now that has 12 of these on the mantelpiece. But Anthony's first to go with the 4 of the derbies that the family has, and now Anthony has this magnificent Kennedy crown, Kennedy Oaks here. It's magnificent. Well done. Jamie, I'd like you now to step forward as well and make the presentation to Tommy Berry. Come over, Tommy. Congratulations, mate. Tommy, we'll grab a word from you, buddy. She's Extreme. You had to find the rail there. It was tough going there for a few moments, but once you wound her up, she was magnificent.
Yeah, no, she was. And look, I had the right filly going into the race. I was on obviously the well-fancied favourite, and getting her to stay the trip was my main aim. And I was confident as soon as I canted her down to the start. She was just felt like I was on my own and there was no one around. She was so relaxed for me, and even in the gates today, she was just trained to perfection. And you know, there's a great team behind this horse. Jono, the foreman, he floated her down, and he's been here the whole way along. Corey, her main track rider back home, and obviously Anthony. I was going to stick around and have a bit of dinner with Anthony tonight, but he said I had to pay the bill, so I said, well, I better head home. I might save a bit of money.
Tommy, congratulations, mate. As I said, your first Group 1 here at Flemington after a distinguished career, and what a way to do it.
No, I appreciate it. And look, to ride a Group 1 winner here at Flemington, there's nothing like it. It's something I dreamed of as a kid, and I'll still probably wake up and think it's a dream again in the morning. So thank you, everyone here, for being a part of it and sharing it with us all here today.
Please, everybody, join me in congratulating the winners, the connections, and everybody involved in this magnificent 2022 Kennedy Oaks, and She's Extreme. Congratulations, what a champion.
Oh, there's no doubt about that, but she is the best 3-year-old filly in the land, and doesn't she look nice and relaxed? She wouldn't blow out a candle, Cheska. Yeah. She looks lovely.
Gorgeous, isn't she? Eyes bright, ears pricked, absolutely pleased, proud as punch of herself with her win, I think.
As she should be. That was the highlight today. And can you believe that the end of the carnival, which is now Tab Champions Day, will end with 3 Group 1s worth $3 million. And as we have a look at this, the Darley Champions Sprint now and the Kennedy Champions Mile and the Tab Champions Stakes, I think, Bossy, there's no doubt that these 3 races, the fields that have been assembled, this will be the greatest race day anywhere in Australia for the year. The horses that we have got all coming together.
You nailed it. This is amazing. This is high-level stakes with high-level horses and jockeys who are flying at the moment, and trainers bringing the right horses collectively. They're all in great form, so it's going to be one hell of a spectacle on Saturday. I probably won't sleep Friday night, I promise you. This is just going to be... I'll be here bright and early getting ready.
Almost, I mean, forget the mile and the Champion Stakes. This is almost exciting enough to make it the best race day in Australia so far this year, because you've got Nature Strip, the established star of the sprinting scene, and Giga Kick, the new kid on the block who was able to defeat Nature Strip in the Everest, and then we get them coming back together down the Flemington Straight. It's going to be...
I'm on Nature Strip's side, by the way, so that's why I'm standing here.
I haven't decided yet.
You've got another sleep or two to work it out. Saturday, it's the place to be. Watch all the action here on Network 10 for Champions Day as we wrap up what's been a wonderful carnival. She's Extreme winning the Kennedy Oaks today.
Just a cheeky 3 today. We get just so used to it, don't we?
She's Extreme for Anthony Cummings. The stories just keep coming, don't they? It's just unbelievable. Pardon the pun there, but just was unbelievable. What a ride, what a win.
Well, just did
Kennedy Oaks.
Just great for favourite backers. You know, like she had the great form and she come down here and backed it up. And now everything's, what a perfect world roll into Saturday. I cannot wait.
Well, Francesca, this is why you come halfway around the world to come to fabulous Flemington, the Derby. The Cup was fantastic. The Oaks today, and have a look at this. Darley Champion Sprint, the Kennedy Champions Mile, the TAB Champion Stakes for the first time. The Saturday, more money up for grabs than any day of the carnival.
This is actually absolutely a brilliant innovation. I'm going to bring all the coffee because Bossy's not going to sleep between now and then, and it's going to be a great day.
Bossy, congratulations. Francesca, it's been a pleasure as always. Well done to She's Extreme. Well done to Tommy Berry for his first Group 1 at Flemington, and congratulations again to the Cummings family, their 12th Oaks.